ahead.
This is the 22nd season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, Aftco, Pro Guy Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we're going to talk about bass fishing. Excited to get back in the studio this week after such a crazy good week. Like I'll give it to our guest last week. That was one of the best weeks of BTL shows. Dave Lefebvre kicked things off talking about our guest today might not think the Lefebvre show was great because he was pretty close to 100K there last couple weeks ago down there at Orange Lake. But Dave Lefebvre comes back, wins 200K. Then we had Cliff Pace on talking about his passion for it. Then we had David Walker that came on. David Walker, like I just started the show and David Walker told stories for 2.5 hours. One of the sad things he talked about there, if you remember at the end of the show, we really talked about he went to Venezuela with Harold Allen, and he told that story how Harold ended up wearing like the head Federales hat in the airport and ended up just getting hammered on whiskey with them while they were doing vintage Harold Allen stories. And then I did see where Randy posted that Harold and I haven't been able to confirm it, but Harold was struggling with cancer. So I'll probably reach out and see what we can find out there. But a big part of the Bass Zone, especially in the early days, the on location, the wide open with Harold Allen and Mark Jeffries. I spent hundreds of days in the boat with Harold Allen as we traveled across the country in that, I think it was a Chevy. If I get it wrong, it's not going to be good. I think it was that red Chevy that he had with the boat, and we'd go out and do all the live coverage and updates on it. So find some more information out of that. But I do know Randy posted kind of an update on that. Hadn't talked to Harold in a while. Harold's not big on and never has been big on technology, which includes answering phone calls. So it is what it is. Big tournament that took place, MLF Pro Circuit on Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma, which I said for a number of years before they started going to Eufaula 3, 4, 5 years ago that I think it's a really good tournament lake. It's a big lake. It fishes like 3 or 4 different lakes. You still have a little bit of population of smallmouth bass in it, although they're not nearly as prevalent back when James Elam was weighing in 7, 8, 9 pound smallmouth out of that. But you have good spots, largemouth. You can fish dirty. You can stay close. You can fish clean water. You can scope. You can power fish. We saw what Cal Lane was doing with a white swim jig. Anyway, when it comes down to it, the man, the myth, he's like in his young 20s, but I'm going to say the man, the myth, the legend, Bank Shaw gets his second MLF Pro Circuit win of the season. Had a big bag on the final day. So this year, Bank Shaw has fished 13 events between Toyota Series, Pro Circuits, and BPTs. He's leading the Pro Circuit in the Angler of the Year standings. That happens when you have finishes at 35th, 8th, 1st, 17th, and 1st. He has 8 top 10s and 3 wins in those 13 events. Very impressive to see what Bank Shaw is doing. And then the Elite Series back out to the Albemarle Sound, the Pasquotank River. We saw a record-setting performance by Kyle Welcher the last time they were there. I believe this is a scope event, and there's this new bait. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, called a koiki. I know this you could be hearing about it for the first time. It hasn't gotten much publicity, but the urchin baits, the koiki, I've talked to a number of guys that are going out there, and they're like, dude, it's gonna be a koiki beatdown on the Pascatank River. And then with just a couple events left, we'll kind of know more as I head up north to a no scope Lake Champlain event as to how that's going to play. But very excited for today's guest. I've known him for a long time, and like we were saying, he jumped on before. Have not seen him in a very long time, but have watched him. It is 2026 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame inductee. You know, the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame comes out every year. I don't know if I'm allowed to see. He's been very close before. I might get in trouble for saying this, and it has blown my mind that hasn't just been like a unanimous shoo-in from the beginning based on his accomplishments, how he's done, the historical impact that he has had on this sport. But this year, Mike Whitaker, Rick Pierce, so we had a really good show with Rick Pierce talking about his thoughts on being inducted in the Hall of Fame this September in Springfield, Missouri. Pam Martin Wells, Don Iovino, and a dude who's still going strong, still winning tournaments, and I don't know. We'll ask him about it. I don't see him slowing down for the next like 2 or 3 decades. Like, this is a guy who is here to do one thing, and that's power fish and catch bass. And that is Takahiro Omori. Thanks for jumping on BTL Talk.
Well, thanks for having me, Matt. You hear me?
Yeah. Power fishing and catching bass. That's the two things that's like what you live for.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, the way to catch fish in the shallow power fishing. That's what I'm good at it, I think.
Yeah.
And, you can catch so many different ways, but that's just, that's how it works for me.
Well, I kind of want to go a Takahiro Omori look through the years. One of these things that I'm on in the kick and that I appreciate is, I mean, you have decades and decades of experience. There's obviously a couple moments that stick out in your career that all anglers who get inducted into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame have to have those moments. But let's start at the most recent, and then we'll kind of work our way back. But when you got that call, or when you found out, when you were told that you're going to be inducted into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, I think a lot of people know the generals around your story, the self-sacrifice, the dedication, the mental strength, the hurdles that you went through, and the pure passion that you have for this sport. What did it mean to know that you're going to have a bronze plaque right there with the Hank Parkers and the Kevin Van Dams and the Bill Dances and all of those icons in the sport, that you are now a part of that forever?
Well, that's it's really a surprise. Mark Davis announced me at the Bass Pro Tour, one of the meeting in Texas, and I know I was nominated like last couple of years, but like you said, that group is a special group, not just the tournament angler. All the people, industry people, the media people, everybody I look up to it. And, I saw those things. Usually you get it when you retired or you're dead, I mean, that coming out of nowhere in my mind, because I'm still fishing actively, I'm getting maybe older, but in my mind, I still want to fish more. And all the respect I have, all those people I look up for, and it just really not sunk in yet, to be honest. We have inductee speech ceremony things in September at the Bass Pro Shop, and I'm really nervous about that, because
You're nervous about the speech.
Yeah, because I'm not ready. I was not even thinking about it. So,
have you started on the speech already?
No. Plus, I'm coming out of country. I'm coming from Japan, and the English is the second language for me. So it's really it makes me really nervous.
Oh, English is perfect, Talk. Your English has been perfect since I've known you, which is what 20, 18 years.
Well, thanks to say that, but still, it's a really big honor to be part of that group.
Do you
Bass
know
Fishing Hall of Fame.
who's going to be there to watch you induct? Do you have any friends, family, any other professional anglers who you like are like, hey, I want you there, and they're like, wouldn't miss it for the world, because it is a big. Have you been to a Hall of Fame banquet before, Talk?
Yeah, I was when Gary Yamamoto got into it. Yeah.
Okay, so
went
you know
there.
what it's like.
Yeah.
Who do you have coming? Like, who have you invited so far?
Well, I got James Nigamario, the friend of mine.
Okay.
He wanna come with me, and I'm pretty sure like people, my sponsor, like Daryl and all that, like Bass Cat, like all those people gonna be out there. But it makes me really, like I said, it makes me nervous to think about it to go over there this time for me.
It'll be fun. Yeah, I would imagine the Bass Cat folks will be there also with Rick Pierce. With Rick Pierce going into the Hall of Fame, that's got to be kind of cool to go in with Rick as well. Have you chatted with Rick about it yet?
No,
not yet. All right. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Let's start at the most recent, like I said, and then let's work back, because when I first got into this in 2005, like I said, yeah, time goes fast, doesn't it? It feels like it's crazy. But I remember I got the and this is where we'll eventually get to. I got the Bassman. I think it was an illegally burned DVD copy. I'm not gonna lie, but I got it and I watched that DVD copy and I was like, dude, this is.
I have one right here.
Oh, there you go. Nice. We'll get to that, because I think there's a lot. Like, I think the guys really into the sport of bass fishing, who fish, who follow bass fishing, they know what that is. But I would also venture to say in 2026, there's a bunch of people, a whole new generation, who don't know about that. And that's probably going to be a real hard find on eBay after this, because I really want to talk about that and what's in it, because there's some foreshadowing in that is really cool. But first things first, you kick off 2026. You have basically what? You found out that you'd be in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, and then you go out and you chatterbait your way to a red MLF BP trophy. Now you've got a couple cups under your belt, right? You won a cup in 19, you won a cup in 20, but like regular season event, things like that, you're talking 6-7 year gap in between it. What was it like to get out on Hartwell, knowing the type of fishery Hartwell is, that field, knowing that there was a period of forward facing, and then doing what you did with the bait that you did it, and saying, if it's going down with a bladed jig in the dirty water, and then pulling out the victory?
Well, that tournament, it's most unexpected win I ever had all my career. I mean, when I'm driving after the Hartwell, I kind of like, man, this is like, I have no motivation, because the spots, that time of the year on the forward facing sauna game, all those guys so good at it. And I said, man, I'm gonna get beat. I'm not even fishing for check. I'm just, that kind of like, I was way down mentally. My motivation was way down. Just get there. Then I ended up won a tournament. It just, that's why I never quit fishing tournament. Just you never know. But it's not. I mean, day by day, it's a lot of stuff changing. So I make a good adjustment, and at the end of the week, I ended up warm. But it's not like, I was pre-fishing and I had all the brush pile or whatever lined up for all the shadow gets dark, whatever. It's not like that. I just fished open mind, then just made a good adjustment.
It's interesting. Like, I think there's a lot of guys, that me included, that they look at a guy like you. You've won Bassmaster Classic. You've won Elite Series. You have over $3 million. And I just had this conversation with Justin Lucas, believe it or not. And I said, do you go into tournaments doubting yourself, wondering how you're going to catch them, and thinking that it's probably not going? He goes, all the time. And I said, really? I said, you don't. And he goes, oh, dude. He goes, I'm constantly questioning if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm going to catch them, if I'm going to be able to keep up. And I think for the common angler who goes out on the weekend, they don't realize that guys at the top of their game go into some events and mentally are not, you hear Brandon Paul always fish to win and it's all about the attitude and KVD, but you struggle with that sometimes going into tournaments mentally as well as how the heck am I going to get it done this week?
Well, I fished, over 30 plus years, not 1 day tournament. I'm fishing 3 day tournament, 4 day tournament, and I fished almost over 600 those tournament. And I know my experience just taught me just you're not gonna win every time, even no matter how pre-fish perfectly. You had a good official practice. It doesn't matter how many fish you shook off, you had a bite. The result always don't follow it. So when I was younger, probably my expectation or my attitude was, hey, I'm gonna win every tournament I show up. But I don't have those anymore for some reason. Then I'm more naturally fish day by day, every hour, or just fish open mind, fish new places, and that's how I do nowadays. And all those places I have not been since 2015 Classic, and I never even fished 1 day, not even pre-fish nowadays. I mean, since I went to the Bass Pro Tour, pretty much I pre-fished maybe once or twice. Used to be I stay on the road the whole year and just stay in my camper and fish every day, but it's just doing different strategy approach or whatever it is that just works for me right now.
That had to feel good to get back in the winner's circle, though. You have 9 wins. You had 8 going into this. I mean, you had a number of years there where you're winning pretty consistently, but had to feel good to get your hands on the trophy there. Especially, I mean, wasn't that within the same week that you found out that you were going to be in the Hall of Fame as well?
No, they told me after this one, but they said I got in.
Okay, that's right. So you
they
didn't know.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
they already decided before I win the hardware. Then next tournament, that was I think it was OHIB or maybe Whitney. I think like Whitney. That meeting they announced me, but that was right after I won the hardware. But they already, got me in the Hall of Fame. Then I just won it in the hardware after that. That's what they told me. So anyway, all I mean, like hardware, I finished third on the Classic 2015. Casey actually won, but I was using drop shot and spin rod on the deep on the spotted bass, but I'm not that kind of fisherman. Somehow I fish long enough. Like I said, I kind of like know. I'm still trying to know myself as what kind of fisherman it is. But one thing is more people fishing shallow, like Saginaw Bay and stuff. I do bad because I have to fish against a lot of more other guys, on the shadow. But like somehow this tournament, Lake Hardware, I have to only fish against like 3, 4 guys instead, fishing against like 20 guys on the shadow. So it just had a good balance, like a perfect fit to me to be able to fish that way. The conditions start changing, had a lot of rain, like, day before the practice start, makes muddier and the back the creek. All those combination, I think, just works for me. It's just that week. But, if you look this year, the Bass Pro Tour, out of five, Lake Waco, Zach
Mm-hmm.
Badge won the shadow,
Yep.
Back Pond, Beaver, Cole Floyd won shadow,
Yep.
and way up in River. Wesley finished second, and I won a hardware. So far, the shadow pop fishing just all of a sudden start walking.
And
But
those are on lakes that if you had just looked at them before, you'd have been like, oh, that's not going to be one shallow. Beaver,
no,
Hartwell, things like that.
no,
Like, now I know
no,
there's certain instances like you have to
yeah,
have it. I remember in 2008, Mark Pack went on Beaver
mhm,
Lake up the river and it was muddy and flooded and things like that too. But you take into account how the majority of things are going to be one in that. And it is
mhm,
very interesting. I just did a show last week with Brandon Cobb as well. And he's noticing more people up shallow in his water, the wacky worm, the shallow stuff, the isolated cover. It does seem, and I mean, it sounds like you're noticing that on the
mhm.
water, a transition of everyone was out in the middle for a couple years trying to figure out the forward facing sonar and the pelagic fish and stuff. And now it's almost like it's being refined and they're going back to more resident fish, isolated pieces of cover, shallow water stuff. I mean, have you noticed that on the water over the last couple of years, kind of a return to the power fishing stuff?
Kinda. Like answer your question, I was so disappointed. Every tournament I show up like 2, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, after last year, they made the rule change to the one period for the forward facing sonar. Then I start making a check. I start back into the making just a check, But
Mm-hmm.
I have no contention to the wing. So 8 years. This is the eighth year in the Bass Pro Tour, and I was really no motivation. Like 3, 4 years ago, when forward facing, everybody dominated all day
Mm-hmm.
long. I was just show up just fishing for the check. If I
Mm-hmm.
get lucky, I have top 10. So and now all of a sudden this year, maybe timing or scheduling, those, one period for the rule changes, or maybe those jig head minnow fish got used to, or whatever reason, it, having contention to win, just making a top 10. If you're not making a top 10, you have no chance to win. So just making a top 10, have a chance to win just one day tournament, one day shoot up. That's most of fun I get, as a tournament angler. Then finally I got back that feeling that I ended up winning. It's just awesome feeling.
Is it weird being an old guy out there now?
I guess. I started 1992. That's why I come
Yeah.
from Japan to fish. I started as a Bass Invitation as a non-boater. Back the day they have a draw pro.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to have a boat to fish in the tournament as a professionally. And now I'm the one. Mark Davis is the oldest guy on the Bass Pro Tour now, and Alton Jones, he's gonna retire this
Yeah.
year, so not
Skeet
very many.
retired. What,
Yeah, not
Dino's
very many.
still out there?
Yeah, I mean, not very many 50s, mid
Yeah.
50 guys, and it just unreal. If you
Mm-hmm.
call me older guy.
But hey, you got, what is that? That Bowflex, I bet, gets some use in the background. That weight rack in the background. You've always
So
been in really good shape.
I had to, as a power fisherman in the shallow, I make like a 2,000 casts a day, like short casts, the
Wow,
skipping,
2,000.
like a bank beating, like my cast usually, if you do the square bait or chatterbait to the lay down or skipping
Mm-hmm.
a dog, it only takes like 10 seconds. So you make 5, 6 pitches to fish for every minute of it. So I kind of figure out watching my GoPro footage, then I said, man, I make like 700 casts, around 700 casts, 2.5 hour each period. So if I don't move at the big engine, I make like over 2,000 casts a day, and I do every day. On a practice day, I do more because I fish more hour. So it's really physically hard, when you get older. I think so. you kind of like bend it over fishing like this all been years, your shoulder kind of coming into it, then that just makes to me to have like this exercise, like the shoulder
Yeah.
press and stuff. They told me I had to do it. I have to do it. I'm not a weight training guy. I used to be, but more cardio guy. But now, I mean, I try to condition myself for be able to pop fish all day, which that's I mean, even a younger guy might want to do
Yeah.
it, but try to have my career long as possible.
Hey, I pulled my groin live scoping last Thursday, so I need to maybe get in the gym a little bit.
Yeah, there
Takahiro.
is spin rod, pitching to the dot. That's what I should do to be, physically, not hard on my body when I get
Okay.
older.
So you mentioned 92 was the first year you fished as a co-angler. So I pull up your stats. It was a rough year, Talk. 304th, 256, 269, 308th. You come over, this story's been documented, but your English was what, 5 words?
Yeah, I mean, I can say just a dog or cats, stuff like that.
Maine. But that first tournament, the Texas, you had Texas, Alabama, Oklahoma, and New York. So you were all over the map in that first year. Do you remember any of your draws from that year or anything from that first 1992 co-angler season? Who did you draw? What was it like in the boat? What did you learn just in that initial?
I did my first ever invitation day one, Summer Haven, 1992 March. Day one partner was Brett King. He's still good, my friends. Good,
okay.
And he was my first partner in any tournament I fished in this country. And like I said, he's still a good friend of mine. And I remember Summer Haven, all 3 days, every partner I had thrown a Carolina League. Oh. Then my next tournament was months later in Gunnersville.
Yeah.
In April. They had all 3 partners had a Carolina League all day long.
Oh no.
Yes.
So you went 6 days with a guy dragging a Carolina rig in front of you.
Yes. Carolina League with Zoom Lizard or chartreuse tail, deep in the
pumpkin seed chartreuse.
Yeah, pumpkin seed and chartreuse tail.
Nice.
That's what they did. I remember every those details. Then I was renting rent a car, sleeping in a rent a car. Then I met Gary Yamamoto. I met Gary Yamamoto in Japan too, but Gary Yamamoto, Jay Eras, Ted Miller from Arizona. I met those people, but all together, I stayed 40 days. And stay in the rental car, just sleep in a rental car, just fish it.
Wait, so like you would just put the seat back in the rental? You would put the seat back in the rental car at the ramp with your rods in the passenger side and then just wait for the next day?
Yep. Then I went to grocery store parking lot or something like that to sleep between those days, And I could not speak no English. I don't have much money. I don't have no connection. And it just... that's how I started.
But did you love it? Like, were you like, this is freaking awesome. I'm here. I'm doing it. I'm on Rayburn. I've heard about Rayburn. I'm on Gunnersville. I heard about Gunnersville. I'm at the weigh-in. There's Larry Nixon standing there. There's Denny Brow. Like, was there something in you even in 92 where you were like, this is where I want to be, even though I'm sleeping in a car right now?
Yeah, I was living my like fantasy dream world, Yeah. I had a great time. I went to, after the Summer Haven. By the way, at Summer Haven, I did Charlie Reed.
Oh, really?
Classic champion.
Yeah.
He already passed away, but he had his wife, Boris Reed. She was there. And the Charlie Reed coming from Oklahoma, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I drew him, and he won the Bassmaster Classic not long ago. So I drew a world champion.
Yeah, he was Broken Bow, which is southern
Broken
Oklahoma.
Bow, Oklahoma. Yes. So I research all that stuff. No internet or no, Google or nothing.
Yeah, no,
but
there's nothing.
I did all my research on the magazine, and I had as much knowledge. I try to have to be as a pro fisherman, pro tour angler. It's not just a exciting trip to just bass fishing to the America. I want to be the pro fisherman. I was 21 years old. I had a passion to be world champion, not just Japanese champion. I want to be the world champion. That means I have to come out of Japan to go. The America is the only place. That's our most everything coming from America. Bass boat, bass fishing tackle back there. Everything coming from there. Bass coming from America too. So I was a kid in Japan in high school. I fished little junior tournament. That's when the bass fishing just started. And I was just so passionate about it. I had experience all that when I was 21 years old. It was really, a great time. And I still never forget all that experience I had.
I keep going back to this. All right. So I went to Japan with Sunline last year. Mm-hmm. And, they had like 3 guys from Sunline that met us. Mike had been there a number of times. Like if I had gone over and they had just been like, hey, Matt, here's a ticket to Tokyo, I would still be in the airport. There's no way I would even be able to figure my way out of the airport. And that was in 2025 with the internet, translators, everything. So I want to know at 21, not knowing English, not knowing how to read road signs, and trying to get to Jasper, Texas. How did you even get there? Like, was that, I mean, like, so where did you fly into? Like, do you remember that? Like, how did you get the rental car and then even figure out how the hell to get to Rayburn? Because it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, so I got in Japan a travel agency to get me the ticket for American Airlines to get to DFW airport. Then they booked me a rental car because, I said, I'm going to go travel a lot to, go different places. So that's what I have. Just a small, like a sedan, 4-door, like a Ford Escort or something like that.
Yeah.
Little cheap rental car. That's all I had. Just looking like a road atlas map, like a big, like map.
So just numbers then.
Yeah, just looking those map, like a paper map, road atlas map, to just driving from DFW. Then we drive into long side of the road. In Japan, they drive left side of the road. The steering wheel is in the right side of the car. Here, it's just like you go in the UK, like England. It's just everything opposite.
And it was just you, like you didn't have any buddies or anything.
I had to buy myself with like a bazooka rod. Plastic. I had about like 8 rods in it. They had one backpack with Plano boxes.
And you made it like
clothes.
I would not have made that.
Well, I just took my time. It just made a long time, couple of times, but I mean, I had a great time, and I, that's just part of it, and. It's not a long time ago, but it is.
How long did you run as a co-angler before you jumped in what was your first year in the front of the boat?
So I fished the 2 tournaments because I was a waiting list. I was going to fish, whole year, but I was in a waiting list. I couldn't get it in whole year. And next season started September. Back today, the tournament started is September, end of the May. You remember or not? But
it was a wraparound tournament, which is why all the guys who used to catch them in the fall struggled when all these tournaments get spawn and post spawn, and then the season's over. But there's a whole group of old school guys where everybody's in a tree stand now, like used to go, like a Dave Smith, guys like that used to be able to go grind an 8 or 10 fish limit, whatever, 7, 5, whatever it was back then. But they'd be able to go grind pound and 3/4 to 2.5 pounders during the fall transition and make a living doing it. Like they were fall guys. You hear a lot of the old school guys talk about how there's a whole section of guys that like their strength, they don't get to fish it anymore.
So that's why usually September they start with the St. Lawrence River for the New York, and I had another Japanese older guy. He's like Jimmy Houston, Hank Parker. He's very popular. Got a sponsor. He got a sponsor from one of the local dealer in Texas, import Ranger boats to Japan. He got set up for the memo deal. And so me and him partnered up. Then I did that next couple of years as like, he fishes as a boater when he comes to the Japan. I pick him up and I use his boat in the truck to pre-fish for him. Or I pick him up airport, set up a hotel and everything, but I could be able to use his boat and truck, between the tournament here to. I mean, I don't have no money to buy the new truck or new boat, or barely I can pay my entry fee. I don't have no sponsor, but Sunline and Gamakatsu is one of the oldest my product sponsors. They got me since 92 when I started. That year when they find out I going to the Japan to fish United States, they start giving me a hook and the Sunline and my first tournament the year they split for the East and the Center for the Bass Invitation. My partner fishing for Eastern to qualify for the top 100. Then he let me use his boat and truck to fish as a floor for the Central side. That's why I won the Lake Ozarks, and I won
96.
Yeah, 1996, my first Bass Invitation I won. I was already using Sunline FC Sniper fluorocarbon line.
Wait, Sniper was around in 96, Talk?
Yes, they being fluorocarbon, they had an early 2000 in Japan. They have big deal for the fluorocarbon line for no stretch. You can, stronger, small diameter, tougher the monofilament. But I could not explain to the media when I won the tournament. I couldn't pronounce the fluorocarbon line. So I'm not even want to bother to say that.
Yeah.
I'm still not good for the intonation, whatever, but
yeah, you had to be the only guy using fluorocarbon in that tournament.
I believe so. It's you don't get credit for the Japanese guy bring all those stuff. I always believe, my own country's stuff, just like American beer made in USA, and the quality that the Yamaha engine to Sunline, fishing line, to the Gamakatsu folks, to Daiwa equipment, on my mind, it's the best in the world. And that's how I got sponsored them. I work for them, and I still use them. But just like like Koike Haida Blue is big right now, and I see Kyoya at the Lake Fork. This house I have in the Lake Fork, he almost won last year in the Bassmaster Elite, but he don't get zero credit because he tried to keep the secret, or he don't. It's not sponsored, or like
so did Taku on
Taku won a Smith Lake.
Smallmouth. Yeah, he was like, don't see that.
Yeah. I mean, he won Smith Lake at the Bass Bar in Alabama for the Elite, using that too. But I mean, as a tournament fisherman, will try to keep it, or they don't want to promote because they are sponsor based, whatever it is. Just like Shin, even a Shin won Okeechobee for the paddle tail, like, the Sawamura one-nap shad, the gambler or whoever copies, soon as they find out, those paddle tail swim bait back the day, nobody had it. Stuff like that. I had a fluorocarbon line for 1996.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it good in 96? Like, was it, you could I mean, were there, when fluoro first came out here, right? Like it took a long time for the Bass Club guys to be like, okay, I'll switch to fluorocarbon just because of the different properties. But back
more
then,
expensive.
yeah, and it was more expensive. I mean, you couldn't buy it at Walmart in the big game in the green that you keep in the rod box for 15 years, and you can still spool it on the 5600. But was it as quality as it is now back then? Really? So they had it dialed in.
I need a different because the sensitivity more stronger when touch those chunk rock and stuff. I was using like a jig head with a fura grab. I couldn't even pronounce fura grab. So they lot on the bass times the frog grab. Then Getty Yamamoto called, bass times. Then that said not the frog grab. Can you get that?
Yeah.
Hura grab.
Hula grub.
Yeah, that Yamamoto Hura grab. That's what I used to win that tournament.
Okay.
But they load as a frog grab.
Frog grub.
Yeah, because I couldn't pronounce right.
And
back to stage, they did an interview.
Yeah. Oh, but you gotta blame Louis Stout on that one.
Yeah, that was a race.
You'll see him at the Hall of Fame. I'll get on him for that.
But that's how much I couldn't communicate, and I couldn't know, to. It just that's what it is. But when it comes to fishing, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I know they're all different.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Talk. I love history. I love it's easy to see the guy win, but I love the stories behind it because it's one of those things where they're like you take a stick and ball sport, so like baseball or football, it's pretty much the same. Like you start here, you did this, you were good, which means you made this, you were an All-American in high school, you went to a Division I college, you got drafted, you worked your ass off, and you're in the NFL. I love that fishing is so different. You have tons of different stories of how people all get to the same thing on a Thursday morning at 6 a.m. at the top level. But we talked about the 92, and then you have that Missouri Central Invitational win in 96. But here's what I want to know. You said this was your dream. You're coming over. So from 92 up until your win. So 92, 93, 94, 95, most of 96. You're struggling, dude. You have like $9,000 in tournament winnings over those 4.5 years with like one top 10. What kept you going? What kept you coming back? What kept you dialed in until you had that break?
So I had 16 tournaments in a row on a Bass Invitational, not get check, not even one check. 2.5 years. 93, 94, I'm not even going to get now one check. I want to try to make a living as the prize money and the sponsor money to be the tour pro.
Yeah, that didn't happen in 94.
Yeah, I don't want to become tackle salesman or boat salesman, You don't
want to have to rely on a podcast, Takahiro.
My original dream want to be the tour pro, as a professional fisherman, not the salesman. I'm not disrespect any, boat dealer or tackle store owner or any.
You're here to fish and fish.
I'm here to come here to fish to make a living, right? So I was more motivated. To be honest, I was 23, 24. I had a lot of, passion to it. Like I said, try to be the best in the world. And I already had a goal to win the Bassmaster Classic for 2004 for 15 years career plan. Right after I went to my first trip, come back to Japan that summer before get to the 92 in September, I made my own plan for the career. I wrote down the paper, said 15 years. They probably in today's 20 years old, maybe laugh about it. Took so much year I put myself make 10 years to make just first classic to qualify.
Wait, that was what you gave yourself your goal. Like, I would like to,
Yeah,
within 10 years of
yeah,
doing this, make one classic.
yeah. So takes me for level up little by little. I saw it takes 10 years just qualify the classic.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third year, I made little by little like progress for the standings that I'm gonna win the third year. Then 2004, that's the year I'm gonna win. That I won it. Then 2005, I won the Bass AOY. So I had my 21 years old to 35 years old. I mean, 2000 up to 2005, I had a career goal on a paper. I did that exactly to focus every year for that goal. To then I ended up winning.
Yeah,
But
you're way ahead of. So you're way ahead of schedule.
no,
Like you were further. Like if you said 10 years to make it, I mean, you made your
I made
first
it
classic.
9 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
2001. Yeah,
nine.
took 9
So you
years.
were ahead of
Yeah.
schedule.
Yeah, just 1 year.
Yeah.
But like I said, today's, if you see today's 20s, early 20s, they start winning right away,
Okay, so let's do 2001 because this is the Bass Man movie.
Yeah.
Is 2001, and
Yeah.
for those who don't know, it's
So
Talk.
there's
Yes, it's Talk. It's Rick. It's Jay Yellis.
mhm.
How did you become a part of this? Like when was the first time that you had heard of this and were approached to be a part of this?
So independent producer, camera guy from the Austin, Texas. Name is Mike. I forgot his last name. He still I still have his contact, but he contacted me to want to take a video there to just part of his movie or something about bass fishing. But he started doing around early 2000. He come bunch of the tournament and to start filming those stuff. Then somehow he ended up did my winning classic story compare with Rick Ryan and J.S. and stuff like that to just I just help him out to part of his DVD. I don't make no money off of it, not even penny. I'm not gonna pay nothing about it. But I was just part of it. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. How big was this for your career? Like, did you notice a massive spike after this came out? Sponsorship wise, fan wise?
I had a lot of people, told me about watch this DVD. But sponsor wise, I don't think some of the sponsors said, I'm going to pay you more because you're on this DVD.
Oh, okay. I figured maybe you got maybe more sponsors called you after it came out and were like, hey, we want to be a part of the Takahiro Omori brand.
Maybe they did, but I was not. I don't remember exactly.
This is the cool part of it right here. So that's Rick's trophy right there, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So this is before you've won the classic. I'm assuming at Rick Clun's house right here.
Yes, it is.
And you talk about how your dream and goal. Do you remember this? Like when you're filming this and you did this? What do you remember about this?
I to be honest, I only watched this DVD once or twice. I have not watching. Yeah, ever.
Oh, dude, you got to go back and rewatch it, Talk. Like now, especially like you just got in the Hall of Fame, like nostalgia. You got to just pour your favorite beverage, sit down, turn the lights out, and watch it start to finish.
Well, this is just a part of my life, so I they just film it, and it's not new for me. But I have not watched this one since they did for 2001. Then now I'm looking. I wear glasses. Now I have to wear my reading glasses.
Different type of glasses.
Yeah, and Yeah, that was 2001. No, that was 2004 because that was
2004.
right before I won the classic. Like months
Yeah,
before I won the classic, I
because
went to Rick
they
Kran's
follow it
house,
all, and that's kind of after.
did all that like a fish camp stuff. His seminar camp. That's and yeah, that's 2004. That's like even a classic I won 2004. I still nowadays people come up to me and say, "Hey, I want to say you said I knew it," you know. And that was over 20 years ago.
But you never get tired of that, do you?
No, but I'm living 2026 for the future, and this just I'm really thankful that everybody follow my career. They watch me ever since I won a classic, and it just time. Just I'm just saying, just time just flying like crazy fast because I have so much fun fishing
Mm-hmm.
or just fishing only. I'm still living in this house. I bought this house on the Lake Fork in 2000.
Oh, this
I
is the
have this.
same house with the pool that you had made so you could
Yes.
test your crankbaits and that you've never
Yeah.
swam in.
By the way, that pool, they had so many cracks because I made 40-foot long, 20-foot wide. They have 25,000 gallons of water. And because I want to test it all my crankbait
Yeah.
and stuff. And then I made one side for the 8-foot, other side 3 foot for shallower. So basically one side is heavier because of the water weight. So the pool split like this. So they had so many crack on the side of the pool, water start leaking. Then none of the contractor want to fix it. I want to fix it like last 3-4 years. Then finally, me and my neighbor, did DIY to fix those crack. Then it was not much leaking, but always some little silt coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put twice more coating. Now I fixed it, but I still using every time I come back from a tournament. I tested my bait, whatever the bait I caught more fish. Whatever little new bait coming out on the market, I tested, and I still use it a lot. But yeah, this is the same house I had ever since. I don't have much stuff because I don't have family here with me. And yeah, I had to change all the light for the LED to it's daylight bright so I can walk
Yeah.
my tackle, and still I don't have no couch. It just I got a bunch of
Okay, so I've heard that from a couple different guys, and I want to know
yeah.
if this is true. So believe it or not, I went fishing on Table Rock last month. I was 2 months ago with Randy Blockett.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed the heck out of it. People were shocked that he would do it. It didn't surprise me
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've known Randy. I mean, we're not like best friends, but I've known Randy to say hi to
Mm-hmm.
since the 1998 Classic,
Mm-hmm.
High Rock Classic, Denny Brower Classic. And one of the things that he talked about, I'm not sure if it made it into it, was he talked about you visiting his house one time,
Mm-hmm.
and that you went through every single
Mm-hmm.
crankbait that he owned and asked him about it. And that one of the things that you are known for is meticulously
Mm-hmm.
always trying to learn. Is that something that you've always been like that? And even today, as a Bass Fishing Hall of Famer, you're always still trying to learn and pick up little nuances?
Sure. I learned from, doesn't matter, 18 years old, just started bass fishing tournament, or 70 years old, 80 years old. I mean, I always open mind to try to learn something, help me to become better fisherman. Of course, any business, same way. Once you doing the same successful stuff it was working 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you're going kind of like backwards because your opponent or competitor, your competition always improving, right? So this is one of the unique. I'm not sure this is sport or hobby.
Competitive activity is what I call it, Talk.
Okay, extended hobby.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 80 years old, or maybe I'm not saying 80. Well, you have 65 years old fish against 18 years old on the same day. On the same field. How unique is that? You don't.
Very, yeah.
If you don't learn from other fishermen's way, if they catch more fish than you, I don't. Where are you gonna get improve yourself? I mean, it's not. I don't have no ego or anything. Pride or any to not learn from anybody. That's how I got here, because I was starting way down, minus 100, to just get to the zero level, to be able to travel around, communicate around, fish around in this country. I had to learn from 5 years old kid how I can. I mean, anything. So I now I might get the Bass Pro Tour, but still, I have to improve more for the future. So
what do you have to get better at, Talk? Like right now, if you were to say, like, for the next, like, what are you working on getting better at? Is there one specific thing that
I have to stay away from YouTube, social media, all this dog talk and the distraction. Instead, used to be I spent way more time on the water myself. I went out fishing, practice, pre-fishing by myself, spend every day between a tournament for the next tournament, like pre-fishing, because I can communicate nothing, because I couldn't even speak English. Now,
so it was easy to focus.
Yeah, now I got like way too much information. I'm not sure that's accurate information or distraction, or all the fishing, new koike baits to, all that stuff after stuff on this industry. That's what I have to get better to how to manage my time more efficiently to have better result for my fishing tournament. I don't have now one thing, you get my point or not?
Yeah.
But today is so much.
You have so much stuff coming in that you don't know what you need to focus on. Whereas before all that, you just knew what you knew and you got better at it. And maybe one of your competitors or friends would be like, hey, have you tried this? And then boom, you kind of learn that. But now there's so much coming in, you don't know what's worth going down that path and spending your time on, or whether it's just something for views, clicks on YouTube, and it's a fad.
Yeah, I mean, I can catch fish in the Juga and Minnow. Not very good at it, but I have all the all the stuff in my boat. I have 60 years. This is my 60 years. I have photo fishing sonar in my boat. Lawrence is one of my sponsors, and I tried, but I have to know what I'm good at it, I'm not good at it, to against those best in the world. You know what I mean? So if you compare it at highest level, I'm not saying Bass Pro Tour is the only highest level. Elite is really good too, I'm pretty sure. But if you're fishing that kind of money to compete against, the guy fishing every day and 20 years old, you have to bring the stuff you're good at it, right? But I don't know. I'm maybe good for this or that. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out myself as how I'm good for a fisherman. And right now, because those stuff they're changing year by year, because everybody using the same bait, then fish get used to. They got so much information. You get it today with the internet, live streaming, the GoPro. It just so things changing so quickly every year. And I have to figure out all that stuff to how I can survive this.
I mean, you're doing a pretty good job at it, Talk. You're still making heavy hitters. You're still making red crests. You're still winning tournaments. I mean, you're doing pretty damn good.
You think so? Some reason
Yeah.
I cannot give that credit to my success. I'm one of the guy probably don't give no credit. I try to forget about what I done for all my success. Otherwise, I'm not hungry enough to keep improving. That's how it feels like. So, if somebody said I'm good at it, I done good, I thank you. But at the same time, I don't want to be. Hey, I'm really happy. I'm satisfied. Everything.
Hmm.
It. And then next things you're gonna get beat that beat.
You're going to be complacent. I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
from the outside looking in, you're in
Hmm.
the top 25 of the BPT. You just finished second at Red Crest. You had a top 12 at Heavy Hitters. You're over almost $200,000 in earnings in 26. And that's as a 50-year-old who, quote, is just trying to figure it out and can't figure out what he's doing. I mean, that's pretty good season talk. You're going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Well, maybe. Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I
I
don't feel like
understand.
that.
That's also what
Yeah.
makes you good. That's what makes you good, is that push to never sit back, to never be satisfied, to use, what is it, David Dudley's quotes, never be satisfied on that.
I agree. I
And to
agree
keep pushing.
100%. I mean, I don't, like I said, every day. I mean, I'm not fish against other fish. I mean, in the end, I fish against the nature, against the fish. If you're not find the fish, you're not catching fish, if you not get bit by the fish, it's, doesn't matter what you have,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what your opponent, I mean, you still got to catch fish to begin with. So I'm not thinking about the other fishermen, Jake Weir, Drew Gay, whatever, I have to do my own job to focus what I have to focus to get bet. So I cannot give credit for all my success, because this does not mean you're gonna guarantee get bite for next day, So that's how I ended up just thinking like this, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Look back. Because you've been throwing a lot of the same or similar baits. Let's go back to 1992 to 2026.
Okay.
You have to pick the 3 most influential baits over the course of your entire career. Like, if you were to say, these are the 3 baits that have made Takahiro Omori who he is today. Give me those 3 baits.
So spinnerbait, I even had my own bait company back then, made my own spinnerbait, TO spinnerbait. Then I have a square bill balsa crankbait.
Yeah.
That kind of included Lucky Craft 1.5 in the plastic square bill crankbait in the shallow, not the deep diving crankbait.
Can we pause for just a second? I have a question about that.
Sure.
Because you mentioned that. Okay. This could be totally wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Lucky Craft comes in, and it was the RC 1.5 first, which is Rick Clunn. Then it goes to the TKO or the TKO
RTO.
RTO.
Yeah.
Okay.
1.5.
How did that, was that the same bait that tweaked it? Because I know, like, your relationship with Rick and you're the thing like that, like that had to be pretty cool to have that bait kind of transfer to then have your name on it. I don't care who BTL is sponsored by or whatever. The most iconic square bill crankbait in the history of bass fishing, plastic wise, is the RC 1.5 or that Lucky Craft 1.5 size. I mean, it's won more money than ever.
It's the exact same bait.
Okay.
He designed it. I tested same time, but he got his name signature series. Then he quit Lucky Craft.
Yep.
Then they changed to my signature. But that's the exact same bait.
And that's a badass bait. Yeah.
It is.
I mean, like, what makes that one so good?
So I think that the buoyancy is different compared to Bagri, Barasa B. That's why I use Bagri, Barasa B, which I'm not caught fish maybe 10 years for the Barasa B, lately. But when I was fishing lay down tree or some stump or bushes, I mean wood cover, I was using Balsa B because of buoyancy to less hung up. But I can get away with the 2.5
Okay.
or 2.0 because 1.5 that I got kind of get used to now, get hung up like used to be. But that's the only reason I was using the plastic compared to balsa wood. But
Okay.
it's basically it's same situation using same technique.
Okay. So back on it. So the spinnerbait, the
Yep.
square bill, you can throw plastic or balsa in
Yeah.
there, but just that 1.5 to 2.5 style square bill, and then the third one. I have a feeling.
Now, yeah, it is a jackhammer.
Dude,
I mean,
all straight power.
it is. That's I guess that's who I am as a fisherman. You
Yeah.
know, that's
So
how I
many
made
fish
most
on
of
those three.
my check and the wins.
When was the last time you smoked them on a spinnerbait?
I use it at the Grand Lake and Red Chris. Caught most of my fish. That was freezing cold. I think it was Red Chris like 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
So nowadays the only time I try to use those are double Colorado spinnerbait, which my next Bass Pro Tour next I had to leave Saturday this week
Yeah.
to get to the Grand Lake, but are you if water temperature is mid 40s, low 50s? I'm more likely going to double Colorado spinnerbait instead going to the braided jig or square bill crankbait. Some reason, but other than that, nowadays you're right. I'm not fishing my spinnerbait much. Matter of
A lot
fact,
of jackhammer.
my boat, all my tackle I bring to my boat, it's not much anymore. I only have like 5-6 planer boxes with little bit spinnerbait, little bit top water, little bit jerk bait, little bit. What I have is one bag of worm, duffel bag is plastic worm with sweet beaver, brush hog type things, and I have one shallow planer 3700 for my jackhammer to Texas rig stuff hook.
So it's not that. I mean, you got a lot of
No,
empty
I
space in
mean
the boat.
it is now they because in the format and the way I mean it's like I said it's been 8 years fishing for that. Besides 1 year we had a 5 fish limit.
Yeah. And then you went right back to it.
By the way, I'm 5 fish limit better fisherman. The way I fish individual fish on the bank. Usually I have fishing for like 10 bites a day, and I'm better for 5 fish limit guy. But I had to figure out how to adapt to no limit format. And my tackle, my boat is lighter ever. My basket runs so fast.
I'm getting
Because,
the new links next month, Taco. I'm super excited to go pick up one of the first 27 lynxes.
I have a cougar only. Since I had a cougar 2020, every year I just got cougar.
I've had the cougar, the puma, the old lynx, which is nothing. It's totally different boat because this is the SDS hull, and now the new one here. I had
new one. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Well, the lynx.
One.
It's the lynx. It's the same hull, but remember they just redid the top cap.
Yeah,
it's
the
more
wider,
of a traditional layout on the top.
Okay. Not the. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. But I haven't done like any of the. I like them. Okay, I want to ask you this.
Sure.
You don't strike me as a guy who like just sits around and watches TV for an hour, because that would be like you could be honing your craft instead of watching Love Island season 8. Not that I've watched that. Don't judge me. But every time that I see the Formula One, what is it, Drive to Survive show?
Yeah.
I think of you, and I'm like, dude,
Okay.
Talk has to be all over this show because of how much you're into the racing and stuff. Is that like your go-to show?
Yeah, I don't watch Drive Survive much. I watch some. I had a Netflix and I watched some, but they made it up like a movie. It had so much story. They
Not
made
real
it
enough
up
for you.
because I watched even yesterday was Monaco Grand Prix. I've been there twice, and I watch real race. The only reason I watch Formula One because that's the top end of the racing. They spent 3, 4, 5 million a year to have a 2 car. Then they made the car. If it costs like a 20, 30 million, it's worth to watch. Then they have go around the world and like I said, I can kind of like learn a lot from racing industry to come into the Bass tournament. It's similar, traveling a lot, got a sponsor, have a race car, got all the sponsor logo, racing driver, do their things, and I really enjoy watch those technology to get to back to average car, or they're not like people talking about forward facing sauna shouldn't be at the Bass tournament. I agree 100% with Randy Brockett. They in the racing Formula One, the racing driver have to have a special talent and the best in the world. Like a 20 right now, 11 team, 22 driver is top end. They should be able to drive the car without traction control, without ABS, without active suspension, without all computer help from engine mapping. That's all things I've been watching every time. FIA, the Formula One organization, control that result to not have one team dominated because it's so boring. If you knew that guy gonna win every race because they have best car, or average factory test driver get in that F1 team with best car with all computer technology, said, hey, I'm the best in the world. No, because you have equipment to be able to drive like a pro. So they don't separate as a true natural talent. I want to watch racing driver going to the corner with 200 mile to have his pure talent to be able to drive the car. Braking, acceleration, all that stuff I have respect. But in a fishing tournament, it's a hobby. They don't care. They all want to make money. So they have to have a brand, I think, otherwise they have no payout. So they do it for one period or they do it for 3 hours, all that stuff. And I'm not the management people to control all that stuff. I even forward Randy Brockett YouTube video to the Boy Duckett and Gary Grimes 3 years ago. To say, hey, this is killed all the veteran guy, which that's how they ended up. Now all those guys gone. But I see those other sport. I don't watch much football or baseball or other team sport, but I watch in Formula One to see all that stuff. To fun can enjoy to watch, then they can identify who is the best talented driver because they don't have much computer aid to be able to drive that car as a. Otherwise, anybody can be best driver in the world. I want to see how Max or Lewis or all those Michael Schumacher. Or I even had a 1990. I was in the Suzuka circuit in Japan. I had an Alan Prost and a Senna crash in the first corner. I was 19 years old. I watched that on my eye, and that in Japan is not. It's making a lot of car. Toyota, Honda, Nissan. They have all car manufacturer, have all the old racing industry to have all those competitive stuff. And I naturally I get into it before I get in the bass tournament. So I still, I watch all that stuff to see what's the latest, greatest stuff, in those, because I want to drive the car every day on the street with ABS, traction control, airbag, or safety reason,
Yeah.
But at the same time, highest level of the bass tournament, you want to see the talent. You don't want to have all the help to confuse to the fan. I mean, technology never stopped to progress. So my point is, it makes it really difficult to see it, is that experience or to give to the talent, or just because he has that box, or because he can drive that car with the traction control, or better team had a better engine, better transmission, all that stuff. You bring Formula One, you know I see all that, but every industry probably different. So right now in this point, bass tournament, where it is, as an angler, nothing much I can do about it. I have to make it, just adapt to be able to have a best result. Just this year, or maybe since last year. Last year I had the 5 check out of 7 Bass Pro Tour, because maybe pole fishing become only one period. But before that, if you look 2024, I only had a 2 check out of 7 Bass Pro Tour. So my job to have the best I can be for the adapt that rule or regulation.
Yeah.
But if you look at the industry, it's so obvious.
I'll tell you what, I've heard a lot of comparisons talk. I've never heard the Formula One comparison, and I'll just let it stand by itself. But it's hard to argue with the points that you made.
If you see one team, used to be McLaren, Honda, dominated, won 15 races out of 16, it's so boring to watch as a fan.
Yeah.
Every time you expect it, one of those, either Senna or Prost, is going to win the race. How boring is that? You want to have a fan favorite, then you believe that guy got talent, you want to see it, right? You don't want to get interrupted with because that team developed the new brakes, or new active suspension. They can drive like a pro. Then
so is that a deal in Formula One? Like, is that a hot topic? Do people talk about that all the time? Is it quote controversial and things just like we have in bass fishing? It's just very parallel but different.
Yeah. So FIA, that manage all those Formula One or other racing, they intentionally change the rule to developing a new engine like every 3, 4, 5 years, not one team to dominate it. Because one point, some team figure out, like Mercedes, that they win like 7 times in a row for the constructor championship. Then it's so boring to fun to watch. The same team winning.
Formula One changes stuff every couple years just to make sure that there's a mix-up, so it's not just one dynasty.
So yes, so that reason to change 3, 4 years for new regulation to develop the new engine, to force them to develop the new V6 with hybrid engine, the V8, V10, to break the dominant team to not dominate anymore. So you can see Ferrari start winning more races, which Ferrari, more fan bases want to see to have a more popularity for the Formula One racing. But if Ferrari not dominated, or then they lose abusive, I guess, or kind of like that show at the same time. But at the same time, you don't want to like I keep saying, it's so boring saying guy keep winning. But like same time, if you had a one, super talented, gifted driver,
he can win doing a bunch of different stuff under a bunch of different things because he's able to adjust and make it. And he might win on a finesse, and he might win on power, and he might win on a top water. He might win on a tidal fishery.
Yeah, I mean, like Jacob Eater, I don't understand how he does, but that's a talent.
He's pretty good.
And it, then
He's
if
pretty
somebody
good.
know how to do the Kevin Van Dam did his day,
Mm-hmm.
he can be like a Kevin, you know. So like
Were you
Al,
tight with Kevin? Like have you and Kevin ever talked about, like, I mean, I know he's striking your luck, but I mean, if you guys are both notorious for winding a plug, have you guys ever had like, hey Kevin, teach me about this 8XD, and Kevin's like, all right, talk.
No.
Teach me about like have you guys been like rivals, or have you ever had like, have you ever just sat down and talked crankbaits for 3 hours over an iced tea?
No, I don't. I never have.
No?
I had over the years a couple of times I had to eat with him.
Mm-hmm.
But at
You've
the
never
dinner or
talked shop though.
whatever.
You
But
let
I never, because he was actively fishing. I never had to ask those how to fish a spinnerbait, how to fish shallow cranking or deep cranking. I never have. Because I feel like I should not ask those questions because he's still fishing. After he retired, maybe okay now. But the things he done good today, maybe not works today or the future.
You got time? Can we go down this road? I told you it'd be an hour. We're an hour and 21 minutes. Do you have to go?
It's too
No.
much time.
No. I want to go for another like 10 minutes because I have another question, but I don't want to keep you.
Oh,
if
it's
you have
already
to
an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you have to be anywhere, or if not?
No.
Okay.
I got time.
Okay. So I want to ask you this then. So you mentioned that competitive, do it your own way, find it out, bust your ass, practice. I mean, dude, like, you're legendary for that. Right now we're seeing 4 or 5 guys rooming together, a lot of guys sharing information, working together. There is no secrets. Once one guy has it, hey, here's how I'm rigging it. He's competing against the guys that he's showing it for. They're trying to make I'm getting a vibe that you want this to be like solo, go out, let's see who the best guy is on his own on that body of water without these. I mean, I'm not saying whether it's bad. It's totally legal. But I would love to get your take on the recent, and it's been going on for a long time, but the recent kind of rise of groups of guys sharing everything with each other.
Yeah. I see that because this year, out of 51 Bass Pro Tour guy, I'm the only guy camping. I still got the Lance Truck camper. Up to last year, Shin Hukai, David Fever, David Walker.
Yeah.
We're not stay in the same campground every time. We're not talking, especially like Dave Rafiba, he never talked to anybody anyway, and back the day that, the Brett Hite was there, Dave Walker was hanging around Brett Hite, Yeah. So,
Aaron.
Aaron, and, but by the way, Aaron's advice just makes me more like, more confused every time. So me and Shin Hukai going to the meeting together. If we stay in the same campground, which half the time we stay in the same campground, but me and Shin Hukai fish totally different. I like to fish shallow, beating the bank. He likes to go a little offshore stuff. So his technique, whatever he walking things, is not works for me. He had a more patience to fish slow. I fish more power fishing fast. So get to a point. I have nobody to talk to, and I look in those Jake Wheeler, Mark Daniel Jr., Dustin Conner, Adrian Abina guys share the information. I mean, basic information. Allowed to do that nowadays. I feel like, man, I feel really disadvantageous, but I don't want to give up my camping setup because I feel more comfortable to have my own bed, on a campground on my own space. That I don't want to go A and B with other Texas like a Todd Faircrow or whatever, because I always got to camp. That's where I cook my own meal. I have my own air conditioner or heater, or I have my own.
You're comfortable.
Charging my battery. I have my own space to work my tackle at night. Instead, motel parking lot and stuff. There's a bunch of stranger you come by. So I get your point. Said, man, I feel like I'm disadvantaged. At the same time, my result is better. This year. to do my own 100%.
Which is interesting because there was, I don't know what the info rule is on BPT, but they have gone back and forth on it. But I know there was a time on the BPT where you couldn't even share anything with anybody, and you couldn't. And then I know they had to loosen it just because of, I mean, it's just life. Like if you're rooming with someone, he's got a spinnerbait tied on his front deck, then was that intentional? Was it not? So you can't do that. But it's interesting when you think about that because I mean, I fish the opens, but I'm trying to make the EQs and share points, and I'm rooming with guys and talking with other guys in the tournaments and things like that. But I've also spent a lot of time. I mean, I roomed with Dean Rojas when I was covering the Elite Series, so I wasn't fishing in it. And one of the things that he said to me, one time I was like, man, you're not a very chatty guy with other guys on the Elite Series, Dean. And he goes, yeah. He goes, it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make because when it's 1 o'clock and I have 4 fish in the live well and I make a decision, I want it to be my decision. And I don't want it to be a decision that's impacted by something that I heard at the boat dock or someone that I'm rooming with told me. And he's like, if I make that decision and it doesn't work, I'm totally fine with that because it was my decision. But if something in my head was like, oh, I remember someone else say, and he goes and does it, and it doesn't work. He goes, well, why did I do that? That wasn't my decision. That was influenced by someone else. So it wasn't pure. And he's been big on making pure decisions throughout his career. And it kind of seems like you're kind of the same way like that too. And it pays off every once in a while. You end up up a river catching them every single cast. You end up in a muddy backwater catching 37 pounds on a chatterbait. You end up with a top water on the flats on Wheeler Lake, just having them shamu freaking 5-pounders on a top water on the final day to win an Elite Series tournament. Like those moments happen because of a little bit of intentional isolation.
Exactly. By the way, me and Dean Rojas is the team series partner last couple of years.
Yeah. I love Dean.
Dean got no friends. I got no friends.
Dean
I mean,
you guys have friends. You just don't work with
I mean, on the tour, you cannot. I mean, you cannot trust no one. Kinda. I mean, I'm not saying they're lying to you, but they might misdirection to you if you ask them. So the question, all that stuff, now the rules are able for the information, like you said, you know, in the beginning of the Bass Pro Tour, you not even talk or you not even see what bait on your roommate's boat deck, you know. But it's impossible to police all that. So now rules enable. But I'm not saying they, you know, they lying. I mean, depends who you are. But I coming from where I could not understand English, so I don't want to get the halfway information to begin with to confuse more. Instead, try the things I want to do, or I have more confidence to build it up. I get distraction because I'm not 100% understand the language somebody's saying. Even back the day, me and, you know, James Niedermeyer, Rick Graham, P. Pond, all those guys at the campground, we kind of like chit chat, you know, after especially had a bad practice, man, you know, you just want to talk to somebody. Then those guys was out there.
Does it suck for you too?
Yeah, but you're not expecting, you know, they're gonna share their things they found. Of course, they're competing against me, but same time, it's going both ways. Like you said, if I know the Decatur flat is dead sea in the last 10 years, I never even practiced there because no hydrilla, no grass. You know, when I won a tournament, most of the people thought that was dead. But I didn't know because I had no information. I don't talk to anybody, or you know, I maybe not listen to it too much to begin with. But altogether this year, I'm so alone. I'm just by myself to campground. I had to drive to a meeting by myself every time.
Oh, come on, Tom. Well, you'll have a lot of friends at the Hall of Fame banquet. I want to go down this again too. So this is the other thing that I've noticed, especially like in the opens and invitationals and things. So especially with pelagic offshore fish. And I'm not saying this is good or bad. I'm just saying this is a transition that I've noticed in high-level tournament fishing over the past 4 or 5 years. I fished the Bassmaster Opens, slightly above average talk. I'm not out there setting the world on fire. I enjoy the hell out of it, though. You fish a style. Dean fishes a style. A lot of the old school guys fish a style where you're fishing for resident, isolated fish that are on pieces of cover, that are on laydowns, that are related to current. It's a one boat spot. If you're sharing information with that, you're going to a spot, and if you've already told someone, they've caught the fish that's there based on the information you've gave them. Now, what we're seeing in the current trend and changes, you can get to, hey, there are quality fish in this section of the lake that are under bait balls, or there are this and this, to where you can share with your roommates. You can all feast. You can all top 10 on it, because you're not fishing for resident isolated fish. You're fishing for pelagic fish, or pelagic fish, as Frank Scalish would say, that are mixing with resident fish, with the bait fish that are there, to where you can have your buddy that's 100 yards scoping them over here, and you're right here and you're right there. And it's just whether you intersect. So everybody comes in with a solid limit and cashes a check, and you're not impacted because of the information you shared. And then you benefit from the information they shared. So you see large or groups of guys that all end up in the most productive water, where there's bigger schools of fish that are that, and they're all catching them. So I also think it's kind of like a product of the times, where they're the guys who are working together, who are sharing information, are fishing for a different fish than you're fishing for.
Exactly. Everybody have on different fishing style, and it's not only one way to win the tournament. It's just like how when I won, everybody thought somebody gonna win jigga minnow on a spotted bass, and I ended up one Dutch shallow, on the power fishing. So
you Jason Christie'd it.
Yeah, so my point is that they don't have one answer to do well or to win the tournament. But one thing I learned over the years, just like you said, like I said in the beginning, if you have more people doing the same for the same fish, you kind of fishing just against all those same group of fish on the same bait. You have your chance there. Your sharing fish is to win or do good is more less and less.
Dude, you drilled them on the last day at Wheeler out there. You went out there and they were just begging to eat your stuff. They were actively feeding on gizzard shad on that flat, and you pulled up and it was just game on.
This is actually first time, or pretty much first time I ever done good on a top water bait on any tournament I fished.
Really? And you went straight silver there. You were blueback herring it. That was a chrome, wasn't it?
Blueback herring legs, I never done good.
I know, but wasn't that a chrome topwater that you were throwing?
Yeah, that was a chrome, but that was it's not blueback herring, it's a gizzard shad.
Yeah, I know that, but typically you think chrome, blueback herring, and then you go shad on that, but you were throwing the chrome on Wheeler. If it ain't chrome, leave it at home, right?
Color doesn't matter, I guess. If it's today, I throw probably bone color. It doesn't matter, the color wise. I'm just saying a point to you just said, if you share the information to go the middle of the pack with all the information, whatever the people find fish, the same time, situation, conditions keep changing. So that was, all the information. Like if you find some information on the internet, like months ago, people already start talking about, means they already not much worth it for the future, or that guy already caught all those fish, beat it up, or, it's just a history fishing technically. Then if you share those information with a bunch of other guys doing the same time, it just situation is not good to win. You might get the good finishes, or like you said, your roommate show you another way to be more consistent to get the points to qualify for the end of the year championship, unless you have a bomb tournament, once or twice a year, because you had a bad practice, not knowing what's going on at all. Then altogether, maybe my personality or my character, whatever, works just, I guess, better for me do my own, to not ask much help.
It's hard to believe. 21 years.
It is.
21 years since you dug into the rod box and pulled it out.
21, more than that, because it's the 2004. Yeah, 22, 21.
20.
Yeah. Yep. I got barely hooked this fish, a 3-pounder.
Like, I know you're always you talk about a lot about this, how looking forward and what you have to do and not live in the past and stuff. But like, I mean, even a Tom Brady or a Michael Jordan, when he hit that shot to win it on that, like, dude, iconic moments that like live, not just for you. Like, it doesn't, I feel like you're almost like, I don't want one tournament to define my career. I want to continue. This is what I've gotten from this. I want to continue excelling and growing and learning. I don't want people to look back and say, look what he did 22 years ago. But from a fan standpoint, I mean, dude, like, I knew it. Yes. Every single year of us, like, where we're not even talking about you, it's just a guy catches it and he's like, I knew it. I knew it.
I knew it. I mean, I knew it. After I find this fish, I was pre-fishing. Then I dedicated to focus to win this classic. And by the time, I led first day, and I just knew it. I'm gonna go win. So I don't give up after last seconds. This is happened my last cast, last fish.
I've always wanted to ask you about this. So all three of those fish, like, you're casting up around that rock and stuff, but they seem to hit like in no man's land out in the middle. Do you think those fish were following it? Do you think they were suspended? Like, it wasn't like you were casting up, bounced it off of something and it hit it.
They had a little twig.
Oh, there was stuff out there.
They had a lip-wrap point. I think the dam generator still have a current on the afternoon.
Okay, so there was a reason that those fish were a little bit off the bank.
I cast it to the little wood twig, just off. I mean, they connect from the bottom to the lip-wrap bottom to surface.
I gotcha. So there was more stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's you have to have full care to see my twig. I cast to it maybe, but it's not. I don't think I just randomly cast into the lip wrap. I mean, well, unless it's between those casts. But it had a lot of wood and the lip wrap just float right to it. So
stick, right? You know what's going on now. This part of it, and I've never asked you this. You're like, we got to go. We got to go. We got to go. How much time did you actually make it back in with? Like, was it like 10 seconds or did you actually have a couple minutes?
I have a couple minutes because I still remember this check-in was 2:30 to that boat ramp. I was planning to leave 2:15. That was 4:13, almost 5-pounder hit on a 2:11. Then I made another cast. That was a 2:12. So I actually plenty of time to get back, because as soon as I got my number 5, I put my life jacket on, I left. It was already 3 minutes ahead of it. So it's got 18 minutes back from this railroad bridge to the main boat ramp, right in the midsection. And they had another big bridge, right? Base of the bridge, they had a big boat ramp, but we took off of it. So they had plenty of time to because I don't think I did for last second.
Okay. And then I'm going to pull this up, and I'm curious. Same feeling all these years later on Hartwell when the clock expanded and they're like, you got the W. Same internal feeling that you had all those years ago when you won the Classic? Or was it Was it different with so many more years and a whole career to put it into perspective?
This is I Bass Pro Tour. I switched from the elite to 2019. It's my, like I said, eighth year. I have not won one, and for the fishing sort of makes much harder to me to do good lately. So I thought this gonna never come this spring or anytime soon. So this was unexpected. So it's different. The classic, I really plan to win to walk that goal, but this is randomly just another Bass Pro Tour. I might get beat. Then ended up, like I said, I made a good adjustment every day. Then I ended up winning. So
now you're fishing team tournaments with him all those years later.
So I mean, it's. I see a lot of people coming and go on the fishing tournament. I'm sure lower level much more, but even the highest level at this point, this was Bassmaster Tour before the elite. They're best in the country. 100 guys fishing, top 100, and there's as long as I feel like I'm fishing the best group, I can compare for those guys to where I am as a fisherman. Then if I beat them, makes feel good, because that's the only way I fish highest level. In my mind, highest level, Bass Pro Tour or elite, because I can compare to what I do every day. Otherwise, if you just fish in private pond, you never know how good you are.
If you do this another 25 years, you'll be doing it as long as Rick Clunn did it. I mean, you're working out, you're looking good, you won, you got another quarter century in you, Talk.
The result, I watch Bass Fan World Ranking since they come up 2001. Every time they update it, I mean, the ranking don't lie. And if I do my best, keep up with it as a motivated, hungry, as long as I don't burn out to keep doing it, then my result or ranking will tell me when to quit. So as long as I'm making money, I enjoy it. My shallow power fishing, I'm pretty sure everybody want to fish like I fish. It's so much fun fishing. Finding fish and do your own instincts to fish than just watching the fish finder to cast into the dot for the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had a great time. I mean, this spring, almost every tournament I fished. And matter of fact, my last tournament, Orange Lake, I caught every fish, even including 10-pounder on Super Spook on a top water. How fun is that? I had a great fun fishing this year. Like I said, the Table Rock, I finished second. Where I won every fish, and the chatterbait jackhammer bite is awesome. I missed a lot of more bite than I caught probably, but it's a lot of fun fishing. Why I have to quit anytime soon? As long as I'm making money, have a good time, fun, and physically, mentally, if I'm healthy, I can fish as long as they allow me to. So I just, I have no respect for the people retire at my age. I start seeing it. Skid, Iconelli, my generation, kind of, they start retiring.
And so you've been with...
I don't see those in my picture.
You're 30 years with Gamakatsu and Sunline?
I am. And Daiwa was since 96. That's 30 years.
Dude, I just got now they're an older gen. So they're like 4 or 5 years old. But I just bought a couple of the new, not new. I bought a couple of the Exist spinning reels. I know you're not a big
Yes,
spinning reel guy. Oh my God, those things are unreal.
very expensive too. I
They're
don't use the
very
high end.
expensive.
I don't use those high end. Those like what, $800, $900.
Yeah, I didn't
I
pay
use
that for them. I got them used. But
okay, but I don't use Steve's rod. I use my own Tatura E-Series signature rod.
okay.
It's like $200 for retail price. And you know, I even have a sponsor. I don't use high end stuff. Like I said, I never much into the steez rod. You don't see me steez caught my fish. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that the cost to have that many or that just don't make sense, you know.
Yeah.
I mean that's like a total
That's the
party
truth.
for
Yeah. I would
yeah,
venture to say that in the studio here, I have some Sunline that you
yeah.
may be the only person that has ever listened to BTL that has seen this before I've shown it. I've showed it before.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the visible tomato?
Never have. Never have.
I got that from the Sunline factory when I went there a couple years ago.
Yeah, they
I've
said
got
the
to
ESO special. It's like a saltwater stuff.
Yeah, it's a salt. It might even be for I don't. It's specifically for some type of fish. I don't know what.
Yeah, saltwater
Yeah,
from the bank.
but I've got an entire like an actual 6-pack. I'll never use. I don't even know what to use it for. But I got a 6-pack of visible tomato.
Yeah, Japan. I mean, Japan got a lot of cool stuff. You know, I have all those guys coming up from younger guy from Japan. You know, like Kyoya 1288, Taku Ito 12,
You talk to
and
them a lot?
I have not talking Kyoya for like 3 years. He stopped by my house before he even fished 4 years ago, fishing invitational. I met him in my house with other diver guys, and the Yui Aoki,
Yep.
the other young scoper finished
Yep.
this year at the classic. He's one of the best scoper in Japan. He's only like a 26 or 27. I met him before he even fished United States like 4 or 5 years ago in Japan. He showed me how to do all that stuff because he was dominating in Japan.
Do you
But
know? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, Taku Ito, I met him way before, like 20 years ago. You know, he was fishing local tournament in Japan, and then he changed mind or whatever. He come here to start fishing. Then I even went his boat 5-6 years ago before he dominated. Before he even wins the Elite Series tournament, his first one on the Lake Ontario. I went his boat at the Lake Fork. And he showed me how to do all 360 and forward facing. So I'm aware of all those new technology or all that stuff, just like everybody else. But they're totally different. When I started, like I said, no internet, no Google Map, just no car navigation, no GPS. It's just not be able to compare. You cannot compare. Even
Totally different generations.
I have to give a lot of credit for them to figure out all that stuff too.
The other Japanese angler who didn't get enough credit, in my opinion, for being a really good power fisherman is Morizo.
Morizo, yes.
Good. He loved power fish, big jigs, crankbaits, heavy line, stuff like that. Is he still doing shows in Japan? Do you know that?
He
Like
did
the
a
Burning
lot
Heart
of
and all that?
YouTube stuff, TV show in Japan. Yes. And
I liked his Burning Heart series.
Yeah. All together, the Japan got so much fishing pressure, so they know how to pressure the fish. That's how all those drop shot to all those koike and all that stuff, neko rig, they're coming from. So I learned how to fish in the United States, I fished in Japan when I was in high school, but I was not like a dominated tournament guy to have all those equipment, everything to dominate it, whatever. But I had a respect for all those, young Japanese guys who spend money, especially right now, the Japanese end is so weak. I go back to Japan twice a year now. Last 5 years, I got to take care of my mother at the nursing home. So I go back like two times a year, 2.5 months. Because if I'm not there, my sister is there, my brother is there. But
Wow.
they are, totally different country. And
Yeah.
Sunline, Gamakatsu, now Daiwa, they support me over the years. It's just
Lucky
amazing
Craft
for
too.
that
You've been
many
with
years.
Lucky
Yeah,
Craft forever.
Lucky Craft, yep. It just amazed me, they've been the Yamaha same. It
Yeah.
seems like Yamaha got 97.
Well, I got a Yamaha. I've been I don't have a motor affiliation now. I went with the Yamaha this year. So last time I ran a Yamaha was on a 1997 ZX 190. It was a Series 2 150 carbureted. So I got a Yamaha show coming on the new Cat here in a month or two. So I'm excited.
Yeah, all
to do that.
the Japan related. It's so. I mean, I welcome to the United States to keep doing, and at the same time, you guys doing an awesome job to take care of the fishery, to all this promoting all that stuff, to have a bass fishing, exciting every day, to not just the Japanese, people from Europe or Italy to Spain to it just unbelievable. But I have to come to America to do this.
Yeah. One more thing, I'm gonna try to make you some money here, Takahiro. And Manny actually brought it up in the comments here. He said, "Oh, the heart rate. Where was it? It was right up here. Oh." He said, "Where's the I knew it merch? You're fresh off a win. You're going into the Hall of Fame. I think we need a line of Takahiro t-shirts for you going into it that you could sell. You make a little side hustle. I know it takes away from a little bit of bait, but man, if you came out with a line of I knew it Takahiro t-shirts, I'm just saying, I think those would sell."
Maybe I'm pretty sure they said it, but like I said, I quit my bait business. I quit guiding. I try to be focused on my own fishing because
just let someone else handle it. Put your name on it. Just get the mailbox money, get the royalties off of it. It just good. But you need some I knew it merch for 2026 for when you go into the Hall of Fame.
I get the I knew it.
Anything else you want to get in here? I appreciate it. I had a really good time on this show. It's
almost 2 hours. I'm not sure who is listening 2 hours. Maybe they listen
a ton
while
of
driving
people.
a car.
See, he said, I do a show every day though. So I am shocked every single year that we get another, Jeffrey started this 22 years ago, Takahiro.
I know. I remember.
He's, like I said, he's retired now. We mentioned a little bit beforehand. He's a college bowling coach. They made the national championship, top 10. He's got like 100 bowling balls in his shop now. You've been on that show a bunch before. But yeah, I'm shocked every year too, where I'm like, my God, people are still listening. So
are you making money on this? I mean,
that's all I do.
Make living?
This is how I make my living. It sure as hell isn't fishing the openings.
Open?
It's sure as hell I don't make any money fishing the opens, Talk.
See, I rather making money on fishing.
I would rather make money fishing the opens, but not all of us are gifted with the God-given ability and work ethic to consistently make enough money to catch fish. So I've worked it in the industry. Here's what I've also said this. You can't finish in the top 10 if there's not people who finish 20th to 60th. You gotta have those guys that are grinded, that are journeymen, that are trying to get through
Somebody
and to get
have to finish bottom, huh?
Someone has to. But the cool thing about this game is you're always 3 days away or 4 days away from making the right decisions and looking back over that past, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 years. And for that little period of time, it was yours, and you were the best on the water, and you made the best decisions, and you have that for the rest of your life. And there's not many, and like you said, we can talk about whether it's a sport, an activity, a competitive act. There's no other top level where you can do that, and you see that over and over. You see a guy who has that magical week, and that's their week, and all of those years of grinding and the dedication and the sacrifices that they've made and the sacrifices that their families made and the support that their sponsors have put into it pays off. And that's why I still love this just as much as the first day when I was carrying Mark Jeffrey's camera equipment around and he was yelling at me, paying me $5 an hour.
I get it. I mean, always next tournament, you might win the tournament next week.
Yeah. It is.
Always
all right. Well,
new tournament. Yes.
I know you got to do chest buys and tries behind you right there, Talk. So I'll let you go.
Yeah, I could not believe it's 2 hours almost. I can do this, and thanks to have me. And
I'll see you in September.
Sounds like I'll never be able to quit fishing tournament.
As long as you enjoy
I have to hold for my next week.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I'll see you in September at the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame banquet. Right. That's a special place. That's a special event. Always has been and always will be. So thank you, Takahiro Omori.
Right, thanks.
See ya. All right, there you go. Man, I always try to work the ads in, and then you just can't cut off a conversation that is that good and is flowing that well. So we will take a break. We got another banger coming up tomorrow, and I'm pretty excited about this one. It's not someone who's ever been on BTL before, but I have a feeling some of you guys may know who he is. He's has done well on the water, is doing well on the water, and it's a unique story about how tomorrow's show came about. But it's BTL on a Monday, June 8th. We will be back right after this.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Bass Cat. Feel the rush.
Before there were hashtags, there were handshakes and shared stories. They gave us confidence to make our first cast and chase our dreams. They taught us to fish, and in the process, taught us about life. They taught us that success isn't just about reaching the top. It's about lifting others up. The future isn't just about selling tackle. It's about 3 simple words. Let's go fishing. Here's to the original influencers.
As a professional angler, there's only one thing that connects you to your paycheck. Probably the most crucial part to tournament bass fishing. I use Sunline because they have a line for every application. Shooter, FX2, All Might, super light line, big stuff, big sticks. Sunline has you covered.
Sharp as can be. Super strong, super durable.
Really good penetration.
Thinner and stronger.
Catch fish after fish.
I want to make sure that I'm using the best stuff possible.
World's finest hook. World's finest hook.
Gamakatsu, world's finest hook. When I'm in a tournament, conditions are constantly changing and every second matters. With the Deep Dive app, I can instantly pull up all the current lake conditions all in one spot. So no more looking at weird government websites. In just one quick glance, I have water clarity, water level, wave forecast. It's all right there in the Deep Dive app. Download the Deep Dive app and get all the tools you need to put together an awesome tournament.
I fish in some of the worst elements across the country. Spring. That's a giant, dude. Summer. Oh my gosh. Hi. Look at that thing. Winter. It's so cold. And fall. Got a big one. That's awesome. Being comfortable and staying dry is the only option. AFCO. Any fish, any water.
At Beat Down Outdoors, we know you depend on your gear to hold up in any condition. We built for that. We test for that. In fact, we pride ourselves in that. Because we know when the time comes to test your gear, you aren't going to take it easy, so we won't. We build premium, made in the USA products that you can rely on in the moments when your equipment should be the last thing on your mind.
All right, welcome back, BTL on a Monday. The hits are going to keep rolling. So tomorrow, we have Chris Johnson on the show. That is Chris Johnson without the T in the Johnston, who is the back-to-back Angler of the Year winner on the Bassmaster Elite Series. This is Chris Johnson, who has won Bass Nation Regionals before and is currently looking pretty good for the Bassmaster EQs in Division number 2. He's actually, believe it or not, 1 point ahead of me, so we're basically tied. Well, no, he's 1 point ahead of me, so we're not basically tied. He's 1 point ahead of me in the Bassmaster Open standings heading into the final regular season event of the year. We're trying to make the EQs from Arkansas. If this name sounds familiar, it is because I believe he said it's a 1985 Ranger. No forward-facing sonar. As old school as it gets. So I'm on my way back from Kentucky Lake. I'm rolling down the highway and I pass a truck with an old Ranger. But on the back of the Ranger, he's got like a number on the wheel well, like in white block letters. And I know that this guy has fished some pretty big stuff, because the only reason they do that is because when they line you up in the Bass Nation Championship back in the day, they would put the number so you would line up in all the numbers. And then my phone rings and it's Chris Johnson, and he's out of Arkansas. And well, here, this is if you don't know who I'm talking about, we're talking old school vest. We're talking like this guy gets up shallow and catches their ass. But he ended up calling me, got my number, and we're just both rolling down the highway. We ended up talking for like 45 minutes, and I'm like, dude, I got to get you on BTL here. So as we're getting ready for lacrosse, I leave Friday for lacrosse for the last one. We got Chris on tomorrow, and he is going to talk about how he gets it done. Really impressive what he did at Kentucky Lake. He had a top 30 finish there and caught it. But in today's day and age where there's still a lot of discussion about a lot of different techniques and how things are getting done, I really enjoyed talking to him on the phone for 45 minutes. It's one of those deals where, you know, you get fishermen you've never actually talked to each other and you just can talk. Like I said, we just talk for 2 hours. So Chris Johnson from Arkansas, this Chris Johnson on tomorrow to keep the hits keep coming on BTL. I learned a lot from Talk today. It's good. I firmly believe that we could see another 20 years at Takahiro. He actually seems to be getting better with age, which is impressive. So that's all we got for today. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow, same time, same place. Remember, really appreciate those of you guys who are new. I know a lot of people found it through the Randy interview, through other interviews that I've done this year. A lot of new subscribers, a lot of new BTL listeners and viewers, both on the podcast platform and on the YouTube platform. If you listen to the podcast platform, you can actually go to Bass Talk Live on YouTube. You can watch the shows. I pull up a lot of videos of guys on the water, like we were playing some stuff from Talk. From his classic win, from his BPT win, from some Elite Series days. So if there's any sections where we're talking about videos and stuff, you can go on to Bass Talk Live on YouTube. You can watch that. Vice versa, if you just listen on YouTube and you're traveling, you can get it on any of your podcast platforms. Just a little purple thing with the iTunes on it, or Podomatic or anything. Those go out the same day, typically, as the shows. So multiple different ways to watch it. Like, subscribe, share, that stuff actually, contrary to popular belief, really does help. So can't appreciate the support. And for the guys who are giving up a lot of their valuable time to tell stories from the past, to entertain, educate, and engage the viewers in 2026. I'll talk to everybody tomorrow. Oh, before I go, I haven't showed this. I'm gonna have to cue the music down on this. This is kind of cool. So I'm at Grand Lake last month for the Bassmaster Open. I go into one of the tackle stores, and they had like a bargain bin. I haven't shown this yet. They had like a bargain bin there, and in the bargain bin, in pristine condition, like the little Elastec arms or rubber arms or whatever is in there, and it brought me back to the days. I found a Flippin' the Bird in the package, never opened, 5/8 ounce topwater bird frog for $5 in the bargain bin from the Flippin' the Bird Lure Company. Sam Kennedy, creator of Flippin' the Bird. We at Flippin' the Bird have spent countless hours getting the bird lure to be one of the best topwater baits ever created. It's basically like a hollow-bodied frog, except it's got a bunch of wings and it's got little feet on the bottom of it, painted on the bottom of it. It's a snagless design, virtually eliminates it. Let the bird-like profile fool that biggin into one of your best topwater experiences you will ever have. I have no idea how old this is. It's like you can tell there's like a patina on it and stuff, but I'm always looking for cool new baits to put up in the background in the Flippin' the Bird. I also had Austin Cranford in studio this past week. One of the cool things that he's doing, Elite Series rookie, one of my good buddies. We fish the Thursday nighters on Shawnee Twin together, sometimes the Wednesday nighters on Draper. Last month he caught an 11-1 on Draper, and I talked about finding this from it was like a little boutique store, and they had all these different lakes, and I forgot to give this to him, but I found that, and then you just slide the picture, and there he is with the 11-pounder on it. He's at the Pascatank River, so I'll have to wait to give that back to him afterwards. But not the smoothest ending, but we got it done. All right, we'll talk to everyone tomorrow. See ya.